I have three amazing women who have moved from the UK, from the US. They're into business, they're doing well for themselves. As you know, on the diaspora transition, I want to delve into why they decided to move back, how it's been going, the ups and downs, all of that good stuff we will be discussing on the show. And we're doing this show so that you can be informed before you come. When you say, yeah, come to Ghana, people are saying come to Ghana, but have you really planned on coming to Ghana? Have you got your house ready? Do you have your car? Do you know what business you're going to do? All of that, we will talk to our guests and see how they have been able to make it in Ghana and why some of them are thinking of moving back to where they came from. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I have Rita Enyai Kusi, Madam, who's into e-commerce, a businesswoman. She's a lawyer by profession, actually, and has not practiced.
I would love to trade my degree and wipe out the student loans. Like, I'll give them back the degree. Yes. I don't need it right now.
You don't need it. And then Mz Dru from the UK, presenter extraordinaire, an entrepreneur. Yes. Yes. And Nataki from the US, also a business woman who is upscaling small businesses to become big businesses. Yes. I want to start with you.
Yes.
Where in the US were you and what made you move back home to Ghana?
So I'm from the East Coast, grew up in North Carolina and was living in DC most recently. My mother has been bringing people to Ghana for years, and I came kind of as a touristy thing. It was like a vacation, but 2 years ago when I came, it was really transformative. The people I met, the experiences, the cultural things on the Sankofa journey were just really like, I was like, wow, I could live here. Like it was, sometimes when you're on vacation, you don't see it. But I was like, I could live here. And my brother moved here in 2008 and he's got babies and everything. And I decided to move here. Really? And then.
But is your parents from Ghana or they're not from Ghana?
No, my parents, the really quick story on them, they changed their names to African names when they got married. And they just connected to Africa. My mother's been bringing people here for over 20 years, and she was here so much that people actually thought she was Ghanaian. And then my brother came. He's a master linguist, so he speaks Tree. So between the two of them, everybody assumed they were Ghanaian, and they both just have been able to thrive in the things that they've been doing here. And so it was just kind of a natural transition to be closer to him, and because of the consulting that I do being virtual, I can be anywhere in the world. So why not be in a climate with no winter and that's tropical?
Yeah,
365.
definitely, absolutely. But you mentioned that 2 years ago is when it kind of clicked that I want to live. I can live here. What was that click?
It was the Sankofa journey. We had an experience where we got to meet a very influential family and some of the chiefs and the kings, and I recognized that there were so many people who weren't just talking about doing things, but who had actual tangible things that they could do, and not just the, hey, brother, sister, welcome home, but like, let's actually get things done. And I'm an action-oriented person, and just seeing that. And then again, also my brother and I've got a 13-year-old niece, a 5-year-old niece, a 7-year-old nephew, and a 6-month-old niece.
Aww.
No, she's gonna be a year.
Wow.
So being close to the babies, and because I'm single, it was easy to transplant without
any ties.
Much changes.
Yeah. How did your parents feel when you told them that you're going to move to Ghana?
Well, I came on family business, and then about a month or two later, we all got citizenship, and they're also on their way here. So we're just waiting for them. And I was saying my brother and I are probably going to have to fight for custody because he's already built a section of his house for them. And I was like, well, what if I want them to live with me?
Wow.
So yeah, we'll have
the
whole family on this side of the ocean. It'll be great.
That's amazing. So what does your brother do in Ghana?
He's a professor at the University of Ghana at Legon, and he also runs a BB2Me, which is an online university teaching African languages And so that's where I will be learning Tree, I was saying, so I can not sound like a foreigner for much longer.
Yeah, yeah. So you're trying to learn at the moment? You're trying to learn Tree at the moment?
Yeah. It's my own fault that I'm not better, because you got to do, you got to do homework and practice. But I really, I think it's important to learn the local culture and language. So it's definitely on my short bucket list.
Yay. Rita Enyankusi, Madam Lawyer, who has discarded her law, but you've been back a few times, okay, where you've stayed for a few years and then you decided to pack up and go and not return.
I'm just nomadic. I won't say I've packed up to go anywhere, so I don't claim either place.
Okay.
I just have the luxury. I have the luxury of being able to move back and forth between two places. Really thankful to my parents for that, right? Because we have a house here and we have a house in the US, so it allows me that flexibility.
But you studied law, but you haven't done anything with your law. And what did your parents think about that? That you did all this?
I did something with the law school. So I graduated law school in 2008, which unfortunately was the height of the financial crisis, and that really affected people in the legal sector in terms of getting jobs. So you encouraged me to look at Ghana. We had been coming when we were younger to just have fun, but then we also saw different business opportunities. My dad moved back to Ghana in, I think, he came back in 2008, and then I moved back in 2013. So, I had some support here to come back to, and you kind of encouraged me to look at Ghana and, maybe moving back. So.
And how was it like when you actually moved? That transition of, you're Ghanaian anyway, you speak the language, well, you don't speak it, but you understand it. How was it like as a Ghanaian, a true Ghanaian, moving back to Ghana?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I was born in Ghana. Well, I was born in Nigeria. Little known secret, but
she's Nigerian, guys.
My dad was teaching in Nigeria, so I was born in Nigeria, but then I grew up in Ghana until I was 6, and then I went to the US. So I spent, the majority of my life in the US. So yeah, when you come back in that type of position, I can speak Tree, but not that well, but I understand it all very well. You're somewhere caught in the middle, because Ghanaians will look at you and say, you're not Ghanaian. You think you're a Ghanaian, but then also realistically, I see a difference between myself and, let's say, someone who grew up here. So you're kind of caught somewhere in the middle, but definitely being able to understand the language, having family here, all of that helped me in the transition, versus someone who's coming and maybe doesn't have those ties and doesn't understand the language. So it definitely did help me. But yeah, it was a transition because, I didn't grow up here. I didn't school here. So even in terms of social circles, I don't have friends. Like a lot of people that I know, it's because they came to school in the US. So I do have some friends that came to school in the US and moved back to Ghana. But I didn't grow up in Ghana in the system. I don't have friends, so, people are like, oh, where'd you go to school? That, people here have those connections and those bridges, which I don't really have. So having to build a social circle too when I came here outside of my family. Luckily at the time I was coming, I would say there were a lot of, we call ourselves returnees, those who were born or, have some ties to Ghana, went outside and then decided to come back. So I had that community also that I kind of leaned on as I transitioned back.
Wow. And when you got here and decided to set up your business, because you've been through a couple of businesses, right?
Serial entrepreneur.
Yes. Tell us about setting up a business in Ghana.
Well, so what I really like about the businesses that I've been in is that they're based, my core customers are always in the US. And why I like that is because I get paid. I don't have to worry because I just hear so many stories about when you're providing services in Ghana or selling products in Ghana and people can delay your payment. So I'm like, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Inflation rate, when the city drops in value, I'm charging in dollars, so I don't have to worry about that part either. So the first business I had was a cultural exchange program. So I was setting up internships in Ghana for foreign students to come to Ghana. So I would coordinate their placement, housing, and all of that. And it was going well, and then Ebola came. Yeah. So parents were really hesitant to send their kids to Ghana. Luckily, around the same time, I got into the second business, which I never thought I would get into what Ghanaians would call buying and selling, right? Like I never set out, call myself a modern day makola woman. I'm a modern day market woman. Yeah. Never thought that that's what I would get into, but just after being in Ghana for like a year, just saw really quality craftsmanship, like clothing, accessories. I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's a market for this in America with people that I know. So I just really starting my business, I started it with like $500. Just bought a few products, took it to the US, took it to my dad's office and kind of showed people there. My sister posted on Facebook and there was a good response. So yeah, a lot of people, and I feel like even within Ghana, think you have to have so much money to start a business, and you don't. At some point I also started selling fabric. I didn't buy the fabric, like I just made relationships with those at the market who sell fabrics. I would go take their pictures of the fabric, put it online. Once someone bought it, then I would go and buy it. Wow. So I remember one of the ladies say, hey, internet for aba, you know. So I would go there and take the pictures. Yeah, so I didn't start with a lot. Wow. I didn't start with a lot, and as the business grew, then I would reinvest and expand. And really the proudest part of the whole movement is that I've been able to employ people in Ghana. Like I really have to say that's the thing that I'm most proud of, because you have college grads who cannot find jobs, you know, who are sitting there for like years without finding jobs, and they need to be trained. That's another thing. Like definitely one of the biggest challenges, I know we didn't get into that yet, is like employing people that can think, right? It's not just about having a degree, but can the person think and solve problems like in the business? Otherwise you have to micromanage everything, which is very difficult. So yeah, that's one of my proudest accomplishments, and being able to tell other people about the opportunities that they can also take advantage of. Like I'm in e-commerce, that's gonna not save Ghana, but it will help so much, because if you're just selling to yourselves, you can't make a lot. But now because of internet, mobile banking, all of that, like it's opened such a big door. And I would love to see more people take advantage of that. I would like to play a pivotal role in like helping other people at some point. Yeah. So.
And do you think that you are earning more now than you would if you were a lawyer?
Right. So, you asked like, how did my parents feel about me going to law school and then becoming a makola market woman, as I call myself? Yeah, I remember when I came, one of my aunts was like, but you went to law school, you should be in chamber, you know, you should be working at a law firm. Like, what are you doing, you know, selling online? I was like, Auntie, well, this month I sold $12,000. And she was like, eh? You know, so yeah, people had the idea. When I came, I was taking chocho, like talk about returning back. When I came back, I said one day I'll tell my story, so let me tell a little bit. But yeah, I took the chocho when I first came here for like the first year, probably because I was afraid of driving, but partly I didn't own a car. And I would have Ghanaians tell me, like, how can you be a lawyer and you're taking the chocho? Wow. Because there's a stigma. And I said, where I come from, doctors, lawyers, we take public transportation. Yeah. So for me, I looked at it as public transportation. So that's how I got around. My first trip to Mokola was, you know, with a taxi. Yeah. So yeah, at first, my parents, I feel like even up until, because my business has had ups and downs. And at some point, even my dad was like, but you went to law school, like, let's figure out how to, you know, get you back on track. Yeah.
And even registering you here, I remember they went through that process.
Exactly. Yeah. So my dad's like, let's get you, you know, back, that's your field. And I can totally understand, you've made this investment in this thing, like, how can you just abandon it? But I also say that, I don't know, it's something that comes from within, but also I didn't feel too much pressure from the outside, because some people, they would feel so much pressure, like even from family or even internally. Like, I mean, there were days I was walking around, people are like bumping into me, I'm sweating, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life?
What am I doing
here? People bumping into me with sweat, yeah. But I would say, like, yeah, something inside of me just was persistent about it and was willing to take the chocho, was willing not to care what somebody is saying or someone is thinking. I'm sure there are aunties that are like, hey, didn't she go to law school? Yeah. Now she's selling clothing, but all I can say is look at me now, you know? Yeah. So Yeah, it was a hard transition, but I also thank my parents. Like, I never felt pressure from them to be like, what are you doing with your life? Although there was like nudges here and there, like, oh, why don't we get you back to this law school thing? But I'm glad that I took a different path. I'm glad of where it's led me to. And I make more money than I would as a lawyer now. Sorry, I forgot to answer your question.
Love that. Mz Dru.
Yeah.
UK lady.
Wow.
So, why did you decide to move from the UK and come to Ghana?
Honestly speaking, coming to Ghana, it was an accident. It wasn't planned. It wasn't like I was gonna move. I mean, I was coming here every year, like Christmas, you know, we enjoying. Coming for a holiday is totally different than living here. But I was literally just at a point in London where I was just tired. I mean, I was working about 4 or 5 jobs at a time, back to back. And my best friend, my dad, passed away. And then I was like, I'm so done, like working, making somebody else's dream come true. What am I doing for myself? So let me just take a break. The only place that I knew that I had free accommodation was Ghana. So I booked a ticket to come to Ghana for about, 3 to 4 months. That was it. And when I got here, the workaholic in me was like itching. I can't just sit here and not do anything. So after a month, because literally you realize that Ghana is not the same in December, in November or April, is completely different. And so after a month, I was like, no, let me see what I can actually do for me. Let me just get an idea of the Ghanaian following, because I was doing presenting in London. That was like, it was what I wanted to do, but I made it my plan B, because in London, you need to make money in order to survive. So I thought, okay, let me actually do what I want to do. Let's see how it goes coming into Ghana. And I mean, doors just opened, and I literally just went from 0 to 100 in terms of doors opening for presenting. So it was even hard for me to go back to London, because it was like, well, you have a show now, you have this now, you're needed here. So I couldn't go back. And then I realized, you know what, I actually enjoy being here more than I enjoy going back to London. I mean, I'd rather choose Ghana over London any day, even though I miss the structure. I will miss the structure. I will always forever miss the structure of London, but I would choose the peace that I get here than I would in London. And so Ghana is where I be.
That's where you did. Let's talk about some of the challenges.
For me, unfortunately, like you, I don't speak Tree. I don't speak Tree, Ewe Fantiga, none of that stuff. And it's a little bit annoying because, I mean, my mum speaks Fanti, my dad used to speak Ga. They don't understand each other, so we're speaking English at home. When I come to Ghana, no one is speaking Fanti or Ga, they're speaking Tree on the roads. The streets are speaking Tree. So it's like, hey, what's happening here? I am going to Tree school. I actually do go to Tree school. I have homework and all that stuff. It's not that easy though. We're trying. So definitely the language barrier was one of the things that I would say was a challenge for me, being able to understand when I'm getting bumped, when people are trying to really put prices up, just because they're looking at me and they know that I'm not from here. I haven't even opened my mouth yet. They just are looking at me and they just know, oh yeah, let's add an extra 100. The tomatoes, you know, auntie, the tomatoes are 5 cedis, but you're telling me it's 35. Why?
Why?
So language barrier, definitely one. Travel was one thing. Again, like you, when I first came, I was doing Uber. Oh, you know, it's only £2.50. Oh, it's only £3. It was adding up when I was getting that monthly statement. So I started on the Troxy. Trotro. That was an experience that I don't think I can go back to. I mean, like, I was literally like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. When I sat, I was like, I don't want to sit at the back with everybody touching me when it's sweaty. So I made sure I only got on Troxys where I'm sitting at the front next to the driver. But it was one time I was sitting there, I just turned to the left, and I'm seeing the floor. I can see the floor.
You're joking.
I can see the floor. Like, I can see the gravel, the pothole, and he's still doing He's tied something to like make the car start. I was like, Lord, I think my life is more important. Not saying I'm too bougie, but unfortunately this one is not for me. So I used my savings, bought myself a little Uber, and that's it. Like, Drew is driving around Ghana. Now, yes, the way they drive isn't a whole experience, but I heard once you learn how to drive in Ghana, you can drive anywhere. So now, please, Anywhere in the world, trust me, I'm good because I can do. The taxi drivers, they can't bully me. They actually call me Madam Uber through the window because I use Google Maps to go everywhere. And then I'll be there like, hey, Madam Uber, do you know? Or they'll be telling me to wait. I'm like, no. No one's bullying me because I got places to go to. Travel is definitely one. The wait, GMT, Ghana man timing. I'm still stuck on, if we say 8 o'clock, it's supposed to be 8 o'clock. If you have an appointment in London with your doctors and by 8:05, if you're not there, it's cancelled. You have called me to come. At 8 o'clock, I'm there, and you're like, oh, I'm coming. Coming is so relative. Soon is so relative. Like, your soon can be 1 hour, it can be 3 hours. One time I can't even believe I even waited for someone who was like, yeah, I'm going to be there soon. They were just waking up.
No, I fight with people about this thing all the time. I'm like, when is it going to be ready? When are you going to be there?
Thank you.
The response, soon.
No,
I said, that's not a time. That's not a day. I need a day and a time.
You have to ask questions that don't have yes or no answers so that they have to
answer.
Yes. So,
I definitely learned that. Even with food, they're like, 10 minutes. Is that a Ghana 10 minutes or it's a proper 10 minutes? They're like, okay, 30. I'm like, okay, that's better. Be real with me.
Well, so then you adjust to the system too, right? Because initially, like with my products, I would have other people make it before I had my own workshop. And someone would say, come for it Wednesday or come for it this day. Like, so then you learn if I need it by Monday, I need to tell the person I really needed it by like last. Yeah.
Guba Diaspora Card is a unique loyalty card which gives you the opportunity to enjoy discounts across Ghana. Subscribe today and get 15% off food and drink at Kempinski Hotel. Guba Card, the best discount card in Ghana. Thinking of having a quick bite at Starbites? Well, with the Guba Diaspora Card, you can enjoy 15% off. Subscribe now. Guba Card, the best discount card in Ghana.
So you kind of have to, because I said, if you don't adjust, like your head will explode, your blood pressure will go up. Right. So you have to adjust.
How to be
patient. I say this
I was
too.
an impatient person.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm an impatient person. But coming here, it's like, wow, Drew, is it you or is it them?
I'm so glad y'all are saying this because I felt like I was a patient person, but now I feel like I'm like, how is this happening? And why is my patience is...
Taught me how to just be like, do you know what? You can't even get angry because at the end of the day, they don't care. They'll literally just be like, oh, it's okay. So it's like, do you know what? Exactly. Please, I'm sorry. And they'll say sorry with a smile. But are you really, really sorry? Are you sorry for what you have done? Tell me what you've done and why you are sorry. So many times I'm like, tell me why you are sorry. What is it? But it's taught me how to just be like, do you know what? At the end of the day, it's going to happen. In order to just stop yourself from getting high blood pressure, just be like, okay, whatever.
I'd like to thank Denta for the therapy session that I just had.
What are some of the challenges that you've been through?
I have to admit, one of the biggest things, I hate to keep talking about my brother, but one of the biggest things is when I came on the Sankofa journey, there was a panel of people there were 12 people.
Tell us about the Sankofa journey.
So the Sankofa journey is, my mother is a clinical psychologist, and in the year 2000, she brought 500 psychologists and their families to Ghana.
Wow.
Because they recognized that all of the issues that we have around the world still stem from colonization and the way that we think. And so fast forward, she's been doing the Sankofa journey. And like I said, I was coming as a tourist, but that year in particular, there was more integration with how to do business in Ghana, and some people who don't just see us as foreigners, but actually see us as, you're my brother, you're my sister, how do we do something? And I think that was the transformation. It wasn't just vacation, it was like, okay, how do I reconnect with family who I don't know because I was kidnapped and taken across the ocean? And anyway, the panel had 12 people on it, and you know, panels are hard enough with, but the first 11 people told these horror stories about getting ripped off, getting robbed, having to fly back and forth and spending thousands of dollars on flights, getting housing, land scams, and all of these things. And so I had just had this amazing experience and was like, I could live here. And I was just like, when is the flight home? Because it was like, what are you all, why? So it got to my brother, and he talked about, came to Ghana, learned tree, became a professor at the University of Ghana, got my PhD. He was installed as a king of a region, and he's just winning in all these different ways. And professionally, because I'm a consultant, I see things like, if I can pay someone to make my life easy, and I don't have to go through anything, I would rather do that than let me figure it out on my own. Let me just expect some local person to just tell me whatever. And so I suggested, why don't you do this? I mean, he was helping people informally, but I said, why don't you do it formally? Secretly saying, because I'm gonna want you to do this for me. And so after the Sankofa journey, he actually began helping people who wanted to live here and started something called Repatriate to Ghana. So I did not have, I've heard the horror stories. I didn't have any of those because I did the whole thing, did the assessment, said, what do I need to know? What is it that I don't know that I don't know? Because there's so many things that are so, you don't even think, I can't even go, even the food. Oh, the food is finished. It's like, okay, well then bring it to me. They're like, oh no, I mean that even though we opened up 2 hours ago, we don't have any more food here. We sold, and you mentioned the prices. I remember trying to take a taxi to a venue I go to all the time. It's normally 5 CDs, and the taxi driver looked at me. When I asked, he said 75 Ghana CDs.
No, you're joking.
It's I could walk, I just wasn't going to. And so, I have had those when I'm on my own, but also having that whole Repatriate to Ghana, be able to, when I have been in situations where I know someone is taking advantage of me, or when I know someone is, just being able to have doors open, you used that term earlier, has been amazing. And I honestly think, had I not had that, I would have been gone. Something that's recently happened, I met someone who did repatriate to Ghana, and he's already bought land, he's building his house, his free and clear land, he's launching some kind of manufacturing company. And I think I was still, even though I was like, oh, I live here now, I wasn't living here. Now, especially now that I feel more settled, and I feel like I have that support there.
Being a diasporan, you do have an advantage in Ghana, or do you think it's actually a disadvantage?
I guess it depends on how you look at it. I think there's an advantage because the difference in the level of understanding about how the world works. Even concepts of sincerity and honesty, I'm baffled at the fact that people say yes to anything, even when they don't know what you're saying or don't mean yes. Or the level of understanding about how things works makes it difficult to, at the end of the day, it's still about language and communication. And if you see the world one way and you're communicating this way and you see it this way, then it's hard to bridge connections. And I think in the United States, some of that is separated by class, unfortunately or fortunately. But here, I find that, whether you have someone who is, so-called low income, or whether you have someone who's, running a multi-million-dollar business, the understanding is missing, in my opinion. And I didn't think it was possible, but I value critical thinking, and I thought there wasn't enough of it in the United States, but it is absent here. And I was surprised, and I found some validation. I think the Minister of Education just recently requested that at the college level they start teaching critical thinking classes, and I applaud him for that. Although my first thought was, if you wait till people get to college, they're not even going to be able to. I'm gonna need you to start in preschool, bro. But that I think makes it a disadvantage, but also, we got to recognize that the Chinese and the Lebanese and everybody else is calling this an emerging market for a reason. So from a business standpoint, from a resource standpoint, from the fact that whether we get along or not, we're family, I think there are incredible opportunities. And just like family, you can't you can't choose. And so even though I'm still learning patience, I'm trying to figure out a way to make it work. But one thing that I appreciate Rita saying is that I think connecting with the like-minded people. Yeah. So what I realized is through the Repatriate to Ghana, I was able to connect with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, because of COVID, just as I was getting ready to venture out and meet people outside of that, is like the world shut down. But now that I'm actually meeting other professionals, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need to exchange contact, like meeting other like-minded who are returnees, but also some who are Ghanaians who are doing amazing things is giving me hope and inspiration to keep going.
But how's your business going in Ghana?
Because it's a virtual consulting firm, most of our clients are not based in Ghana. Recently started an NGO to do the same kind of consulting for Ghanaians. And I think, again, to that point, meeting people who are thinking at a different level, and who want to give back, again, I think it's about finding like-minded people, because if you just say, well, you're Ghanaian, you're in front of me, then I think you will be disappointed frequently.
Okay, Rita, do you think being a diasporan is an advantage or a disadvantage when you come to Ghana?
Yeah, I'll say it's an advantage. Even if you're looking for a job, people like the foreign accent. They want someone with a foreign accent sitting, answering, or not answering the phones, but they want to sit at a meeting and be like, this is my so-and-so, our director of blah, 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 and the person has a foreign accent. So I do think it makes certain things easier. We might have a self-esteem problem where we sometimes treat white people better than we treat black foreign people before our own local people. For that reason, yeah. I'm somewhere in the middle of being a black but kind of foreign person coming here.
Why do you think we do that?
Well, maybe it's a self-esteem problem. There's something where, even when it comes to products, we see those that are from outside as better than what is here. But at the same time, it's also an advantage. I do feel like I bring certain skills. Not to say that you cannot find it anywhere in Ghana, but I do feel like based on my training, education, experience working, I bring, even it's something like organizational skills that I think we lack here. Critical thinking skills, yes, from high school and up, you have to use your critical thinking. And here, in society, you're taught to say yes as you're a child and not question authority. So yeah, it has to go to when you're a child to be able to ask those questions, even when you ask questions and you're like a bad child and all of that. But that is part of where the critical thinking comes in. So yeah, I feel like when you're from the outside, yes, there's some advantage. And what I do in my business, definitely, it's because I've bridged what I know of the US and the US market, what people are looking for. When I first started my first program, the exchange program, Ghanaians are like, wait, people pay you to come and volunteer for free because my program charges a fee to coordinate the internship. So people here like just didn't understand that concept. Someone is paying you to come here and work for free. So yeah, if I didn't grow up in the US and I was just in Ghana, like maybe I wouldn't know that that's an opportunity. With the business I'm in now with e-commerce, what helps me is like I'm selling products that we make in Ghana, I'm selling products that we sell, but I'm able to brand it because I know who I'm speaking to. You know, the way I'm able to package it and sell it and explain to people because I know what people there. So for me, that's been my advantage, is bridging, you know, what I know of the outside and then my resources in Ghana and bringing them together.
Awesome. Mz Dru, has it been an advantage for you with your British accent being in Ghana?
I don't know, I think it's 50-50, you know. Being in the industry that I'm in, some people actually don't like the accent at all. Some people feel like I am putting it on. I wish I could put on a British accent, but some people feel like my accent is fake. You do get some people that are like, oh my God, Mz Dru, I want to sound like you. I'm just like, hey, that's interesting. I feel like in Ghana, they don't really like change. In terms of you want to bring in new ideas, you know how things work on the outside. And so I'm here to, let me implement this, this can make it better. No, this is how we do it in Ghana, so you need to do it like this. I'm just like, well, we're gonna be here for an extra 5 years when we could have just done it in a quick, maybe 1 year. And so that's the annoying thing. I'm just like, me being from the diaspora is not really helping, you know, bringing my ideas. But then like you, when you're with like-minded people that understand, that are open to change, or they've seen it, or maybe they have an insight or they want to go there. I think some people, the reason why they want to be, I wouldn't say friends with me or like chilling with me, is because they're like, oh, I have a friend that's from the UK, or I have a friend that's from America. And so therefore they feel closer to going there. And I'm like, I mean, I actually came back for a reason. Right. But I do believe it's all about the people that you hang around with in terms of making it easier for you being from the diaspora. But it is much harder because it does feel like you make 10 steps and then you're making another 20 backwards, because you get so close and this person's like, no, this is how it should be done. Or the side who you know. Me coming to Ghana, I didn't really know anybody. I mean, all of my family is in the UK. The only people here are my grandmas. So it's like, I don't have connects, or the uncles I know, they're not into TV or present or anything. So it's like, if you know this person, then you can get there. But if you don't know, you're starting from the bottom. Like, I was doing presenting for how many years? I studied media for over 7 years. Big 27-year-old come to Ghana and I'm an intern. Excuse me? I was making double figures, plenty figures in the UK, and I've had to take 1,000 steps back to start from the bottom, just so the Ghanaians can actually know who I am, get a feel of who Dru is before we start actually being able to make change. So it's like, it didn't really have to be like that, but if it's the process, I have to do what Ghanaians do being in Ghana. So it's been interesting. Yeah, it's like up and down.
And do you think that now Ghanaians, you fitted in? Do they understand the brand? Do they understand you?
I think people understand that Dru just will always do whatever she wants to do. Like, they know that, yeah, Mz Dru, she's always gonna do whatever she wants to be. So whether you like me or not, I only know how to be me. I'm definitely not bougie. I mean, I'm down to learn. I mean, I go on the streets, I sell plantain on my head, I go to the market and sell fish with the people. I'm in the toll booth. So I'm understanding, and I have a yearning to know how things are done properly. When I know how you guys do your things, then I can slowly infuse, okay, maybe we can try to do things, you know, a little bit differently. Let's try slowly and, you know, add this or do this kind of thing. So I guess they are understanding more of Dru. They definitely, yeah.
Well, I think like for you, then everyone's not going to be your market, right? Like there's certain stations, TV, radio that want to appeal to a certain type of market. And then there's another one that wants to appeal to another market. So better to not come and try to change yourself, but just find where it's a good mutual fit.
I think that applies socially also. Just socially, everyone is not your market. Everybody's not going to buy who you are. And I think rather than trying to change, you just need to align, because it's very, very different. And to the people who are so rigid thinking, who everything out of their mouth is, that's not how we do it in Ghana. And it's like, but you just were complaining about how things are not working.
Exactly.
But that's not how you do it in Ghana. One of those things should change, right?
And there's that pushback that you came from outside, you want to come and tell us what to do. So we're too known when you want to change anything.
Exactly.
When you complain about something that's not, you know, like, yeah, you could see a more efficient way about it, but they'll just kind of look at you and like that you're too known, that you're a know-it-all. That's what that means, right? So they'll look at you like, oh no, you think you know everything.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you can't also just come and change stuff in that way. So you have to find some way to like make it work.
I think there are like non-ethnocentric ways to do it, where it's not like I'm coming in as someone who knows, but you know, I think like you said, the inertia and not wanting to change is what people get stuck on, and they don't even hear the ideas. Because if there was critical thinking, it would be like, whether I like the package or not, this is coming out of, this is a good idea, so let me explore it.
I feel like in a way sometimes they just get a bit intimidated. Like, it's not like I'm here coming to be like, oh no, we should do things differently. But it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're like, oh no, so you think just because you've come from, you know, abroad, you know, everything was like, wow. Okay, fine, let's just do it your way and we'll see. And then at the end, it's like, well, you know, if you did listen to me, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you guys found customer service in Ghana?
Does it exist?
Literally. I actually was saying, if I had like all the money in the world, I would really love somebody to have like a customer service school. Nobody ever can work anywhere unless you have gone through the school and maybe got some sort of certificate, because I don't know whether they just are so blasé or it's like laziness. You go to a restaurant, I've ordered something, you've taken 5 minutes, not even 25 minutes to come back and tell me that it's finished. Or you come and bring me something that I didn't order because what I ordered wasn't finished. I didn't order jollof, I actually ordered fried rice. Maybe if the fried rice was in there, I want yam, but you've brought me jollof because the fried rice was finished. What if I'm allergic to tomatoes? Like, it's literally, and then they'll say, but we've cooked it, so you have to pay for it. I have to pay for something that I didn't order. And it's just a blinking competition now, because we're staring at each other like, well, what do you want me to do? Because I don't want to pay for this, because I didn't order it. All the time. I've had too many experiences where I think I know how to talk to them now.
Being here for a while, okay, so customer service is not great. It's not great most places, but people can be trained, because you go to certain places where it's better. So for me, I blame the people that own the establishments. Because many times they don't train people. They just bring them in and they just expect them to know what to do. So you have to train, and there are agencies and companies that train, but I don't think there's follow-up. Right, because it's a whole mentality. Someone didn't grow up experiencing that type of service and giving that type of service. It's going to be hard to just tell them once and have it stick in their head. So I blame the business owners, because like I said, when I see there's some establishments usually owned by foreigners, and they do take the time to train people, and you still not perfect, but you experience a better level of customer service. Also, another thing is that really, if you found out what most people make that are serving you, they make like nothing, right? So there's also not a lot of incentive for them to like do better or not do better. Like, some people just work just to have something to do, because if you really consider what they pay for transportation just to get to work, like by the time they get home, they really have made nothing.
I've used the couple of places that have had good customer service to find other places, because what I find is the business owners that are thinking like that align with other business owners who are thinking like that. And I think I went into a store at the mall, a shoe store that's in the United States, not black owned. And one of the things I try to do is spend all of my money with Ghanaian owned businesses. I was like, I did not come to Ghana to spend my money and export it to people who are oppressing us and stealing our land. So, but I went into a store, and a shoe store, and the girl was like, hi, how can I help you? Blah, blah, blah. And she didn't follow me around and be like, what are you buying? What are you buying? What are you buying? And I was like, what? How did you learn this? I was so shocked, because that was like 6 months after I got here. I was like, why is this the first time I've experienced customer service? And but since then, I've met a lot of great companies. There's a cleaning company I used. I just was raving about them the other day, and I saw her yesterday, and she was like, thank you for posting. I posted this, I used her in January when I moved, and I posted this thing on my status, and I was like, customer service is amazing. I'm gonna tell everyone about it. And she was like, I actually got calls from people who were like, who now want to use. So I feel like the more we become advocates, like vocal advocates for the people who are doing customer service, and I've noticed that people not listen to me like in a weird way, but they're like, okay, you know, she's got some standards. So if I'm saying I think this has value, I've noticed local people and other returnees are like, oh, let me explore that. And I'm like, and now that I've stopped referring someone who doesn't have good customer service, someone who stops delivering on what they're supposed to do. There was a restaurant in particular, I realized I was spending more money than I spent on food probably in the US just getting takeout, just because I was like, let me just do whatever. And I asked for like one thing, I don't remember what it was, but it probably cost like five CDs, and they were like, no. And I was like, I can get my own cook for this. So thank you for, thank you for that. But I'm just like, I think setting the standard and telling people, and I told the owner, I was like, okay, so you just lost about like 1,600 Ghana CDs a month over 5-10 CDs. I hope that was worth it for you, and I hope that you also are okay with me not telling my friend, like not in an accusatory way, but you need to be able to think about what do you value in your business and why. So.
The African region offers you the sweet opportunity to explore and experience Accra in the most convenient way possible. With the Gooba Diaspora card, you get to step into comfort, luxury, and enjoy special rates, all exclusive to the Gooba Diaspora card. 15% off. Grab yours now. Gooba card, the best discount card in Ghana.
When you told the owner, what did they say?
She didn't care.
Wow.
She didn't care. She was like, okay, I needed my 15 CDs today, so it's okay to lose that. And like I said, it was a really great opportunity to, in fact, so I'm one of those kind of people, when something happens, I tend to turn it into a business or an opportunity. So I found a couple of sisters who are aspiring chefs, and I'm gonna essentially mentor them into doing whatever so that they can be the kind of businesses that I would like to patronize. And then I have a 13-year-old niece who's also a kid chef. And so I'm gonna let them be the mentor. So I'm like, I mean, it's never an end. It's just a different way to the same.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, I agree when you say like telling the owner, because I also feel every time I do, I would tell the waitress, I mean, you know, this is how it would be better if you did it this way, or I'll speak to owner. But because not many people complain, I mean, in London, if something doesn't go right, I'm quick right into the sending an email to the company, making sure, making sure I get free this, and next time, oh, we're so sorry. But here, because people don't complain, and people are still coming. So yeah, you didn't bring your 5 CDs, but they're still gonna get another 20 people that are still gonna come. It's gonna be bad, and they're just gonna deal with it and keep going. This is the sad thing that is going on. That's what needs to change. We need more people to, yes, be the loud mouses, vocal about good customer service, and when things are wrong, let people know about it too.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I ordered something, and I ordered body and contumely, you know. Yeah, come on. I ordered that, and they brought me yam. I called them. I said, please, you gave me yam instead of body. Oh, sorry. Sorry? Like, change my order, bring my order. Oh, madam, I'll get in trouble. You know, like, and you feel bad. Yeah, they make you feel bad. Yeah. And it's like, wow. I remember UK, Nando's, they brought me the wrong order. Called them, I was like, Nando's? You brought me the wrong order. They literally gave me a whole new order.
You get a refund, you get a replacement, and you get a coupon.
Yes.
Exactly.
And they gave me everything. They said, keep what you have. We're not taking it back.
Right.
This is the extra one, and we're refunding back your money.
Look at that.
And you get a coupon,
That
and you
is
get
customer service.
yes.
And you will feel like going back again.
Yes.
Right, and telling all your friends, I got great customer
Like, don't worry
service.
about it. You know, the last time they messed up, but it's okay. It's fine.
Ghana,
Subway.
they will tell you.
Right.
I remember I ordered soup. The guy came. What was it? Oh, I can't even remember. I ordered pepper soup. I asked how much it was. I said 80 Ghana Cedi. I said, fine, no problem. Delivery guy comes now. He's like, oh, it's 140 Ghana Cedi. I said, huh? No, the guy on the phone told me it was 80 Ghana Cedi. I called. I said, boss, the driver is here and he's saying that it's 140. I did a mistake. I was like, you did a mistake.
Could have called me.
I said,
Right.
but you didn't
before
tell
you
me.
Came. Call me before you came.
I was like, you didn't tell me. And the guy is here. Yeah, so madam. I was like, where's your manager? Manager comes. Oh, we can do 120. I said, no.
40 extra.
I said, no. I said, you told me it was 80 Ghana Cedi. Madam, if you don't want it, then... I said, really? I said, okay, driver, please take the suit back. They did not care at all.
I think the critical thinking, and this is the other piece, the lack of accountability, because there's no accountability for anything. And the thing that really got me, I had been hit in the car driving. I remember one caused this whole scene. My sister-in-law was 9 months pregnant, and the driver who tried to drive around us instead drove into us was just standing there, and we're surrounded by men. So me and a pregnant woman, and there are men who are like, oh, please, let him go. He doesn't need to pay for, and I'm like, you just damaged my brother's car. And that's the one thing. I'm just like, how do grown men get around women and they're not like, I'm expecting like the protection or the you know, being surrounded by like warrior energy, but everybody's like, don't hold anybody accountable, even though, I mean, it'd be one thing if he hit me by mistake, but he hit me because he was doing something stupid. Yeah. And there's no accountability. He didn't want to be accountable, but and I feel like that lack of accountability, lack of caring, lack of understanding of customer service, and lack of critical thinking is what's causing everything.
I mean, I guess part of the issue is that you can get away with it here because other people, that's like the environment. But like where in my field, like in e-commerce, if someone has a complaint, I have to like address it. You know, the whole thing is, and with e-commerce, and I used to try to explain to people here who make my stuff, they'll make something, it's not to my standard, it's not to my spec. Oh, sister, it still looks good. I'm like, no. No. You know, and even when we do clothing, I'm like, the inside finishing looks nice or needs to look nice. Oh, but it's the inside.
Right.
You know. Yes.
Right.
Or the zip isn't perfect, you know, but it's like, what I try to explain to them, I'm like, when it gets to the US, if the person doesn't like it, they can go write a review. So I am accountable, right?
Or tell their credit card, just refund me.
They do that too. But yeah. And then they take the money and charge me on top of it. But yeah, so they can go write a review. It's not worth it for me. I'd rather refund that one person because other people are going to come read that review. Then how many sales am I losing as a result? So that's what people here don't understand. And maybe they can also get away with it because like the next door person is probably just as bad as they are. But I think we are learning. We are getting better. I do see, I'm going to just say it's younger people, but I do see some younger people like in business who I feel like are trying a little bit better with like customer service, you know, but there's also a feeling here that the person selling is always the smaller person, which makes no sense because some of these people have money, like maybe they're selling fabric. I mean, the fabric women have money, but there's always the incentive, like people feel sorry for the seller, like you, the person buying, are the one with more money. You know, and from outside, we don't look at it that way. Like, you're the company, you need to make things right because I'm coming to spend my money with you. So all of those things, like they might think we're too known and we talk too much, but what's helped my business again to get to the point that it is that I provide good customer service, which sometimes means I have to refund somebody. I have to give an apology. I have to lose a little bit of money. But I also know that at the end of the day, I'm going to get more money from doing that. And people here need to learn and understand and appreciate some of that.
How have you guys been able to find relationships in Ghana? Dating?
As 3 single, are you single too? Oh, sorry, put you on the spot.
Mz Dru
Like,
was
he thinks
silent.
so, but maybe he doesn't think so.
So dating in Ghana, you've dated, yes?
Yes.
And how has it been in Ghana compared to maybe dating outside? Are you paying or is somebody else paying? Are they doing the right thing?
I mean, whoa, what a story.
It's like you
There's
got
so many
pinned on
stories.
that.
This is a whole other conversation by itself.
Legit, I mean, coming to Ghana, I've seen different types of Ghanaians, different types of Ghana boy. So you get the mummy's boy, you get the one that has money but is actually not his money, you get the one that is pretending that they'll pay you back but actually they're just taking from you. You get the, oh yeah, I got it all, but you've also got plenty other girls. That is an experience. I'm not having it anymore. I'm not dealing with it anymore, so I'd rather go and get a London Ghanaian.
Wow.
That's the conclusion.
I think for me, I want a. If I was going to be in, well, I did say if I was going to be in Ghana, I don't think I can deal with a born and raised Ghanaian anymore. It would have to be. I know it would have to be a person from the diaspora that understands my way of thinking that is thinking here. But now, I'll just get a UK Ghanaian. Yeah, import you and get you to fly over here.
Really? It's been that bad?
It's
I feel like
been
I've advised people
interesting.
that before, like you might need to bring him with you.
Yeah, just.
But
get
see,
them to
I was
come.
hoping when I got here that it would be like, oh wow, there would be more. So oddly enough, I thought there would be more like-minded people here, but because colonization is global, the mindset is not quite what I thought. But
Make sure you don't get one that just doesn't want your passport.
yeah, I have.
I
So
don't
that
have that
hasn't been an
issue.
issue.
haven't
Definitely
had
had
that issue.
you were those.
I have not
Really?
had that.
Like, yeah, everything is perfect, but deep down, they actually just want your passport so that you can go back to the UK with them. I'm like, listen, right now, when I'm going out, like, I am Ghanaian. My passport is now green. Forget about the burgundy one, because I'm not going back. I'm actually not going back, so this is it.
So I haven't had that one, but I feel like everything we've talked about is you can see it in relationships. So the lack of communication, the lack of sometimes critical thinking, the and then all the other stuff that men just are globally, like the sometimes fidelity and or just forward thinking, and like not saying that I want to put on a wedding dress after one date or anything, but like, can we think past like anything? Yeah. And so those kinds of things tend to present more of an issue. But I feel like if anything, I meet more. I feel like I meet too many men who are just not I don't know, go-getters or just they're just living from day to day and whatever is that day, because I realize there is a culture in Ghana where a lot of people, regardless of how much money they make, are still like hand to mouth.
Yeah.
So they could be making thousands and thousands of CDs or dollars or pounds or whatever, but it's still this day-to-day living mentality. And you know, if you are a kind of person who wants to change the world, you can't do it if you're thinking day to day. So that's been my challenge.
Yeah, well, it's even difficult in terms of like meeting people, right? Like, who are you interacting with? Like, I don't want to limit myself necessarily to like just people that have moved back. But if that's not the case, then where am I meeting people? When people say go to church or join the Rotary Club, or, you know, so even just the practicality of how do you meet people. I've heard of people doing online dating here, but I don't know, I haven't tried that. But even just like the pool of people that would be like-minded that you could get along with, that makes it difficult. Just culturally, yes, I'm Ghanaian, but I grew up in the US, so the way I view relationships is different. On a first date, I told one guy I'm looking for a partnership.
Oh, they don't want to do that.
Like,
they do not want to do that.
So offended, because really what it comes down to is that we're not equal.
Yeah.
In his mind, right? So he was so offended that I used the word partnership.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, V's giving me looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was just so offended that I said partnership, but like I didn't mean that in a negative way. It's that I'm getting together with someone that we could build with together.
Well,
You know?
what I find, and that's my biggest barrier, is I'm also looking for a partnership, but it seems like men here want to amass their fortune. And this is advice I give to women in the States also. If the man is so set on amassing his fortune and then getting like someone who's going to adore his material stuff, then you're replaceable. Like, he's not trying to build with you, grow with you, so I'm not interested. And so listening for that, maybe you're a meal ticket, or, you know, I want an adoring fan who will admire all the material stuff that I got. Seem like the two extremes.
I'm like, I want someone to adore me and admire me too. I'm like, I want to be a Ghanaian man. But yeah, so a lot of them want someone. And so then if you're a woman who has your own and you're okay too, then they feel, I guess there's intimidated. I won't say intimidated, because even in the US, my parents try to say that that's my issue. Not getting defensive, but yeah, not intimidated, but yeah, somewhat intimidated.
Yeah, I think for me, they definitely are. They want somebody who is, like you said, going to be like, oh, can you have 500 CDs to buy hair? Can I get this money? And so when I'm just like, I actually don't need your money. I remember someone was like, you don't want my money? I can change your life. I'm like, you can change, just because I declined your wad of money and cash. And I'm just like, no, I'm not interested. That's not the type of person that I am. I don't need it. It's nice if you want to give it to me, but I actually don't want it. They got so offended, like, who are you? This girl, she's tuning. And that's the thing, guys are more than girls. They have big mouths. So they'll go around and be making out as if, oh, she's tuning, or no, she's this. Just because I didn't take your money and sit in your car and go to dinner with you. Oh,
but
wow.
I feel like there's a bigger issue, because what I also see is so many men are focused on their idea of success and their idea of money and all this kind of stuff, that if I've built my whole masculinity around me defining, you know, who I am with all this money, and now you don't need my money, then who the hell am I? Because if I have done no self-development, no mental development, no spiritual development, and all I did was focus on money and you don't need it, then what do I do? So you just broke his whole world apart.
Yeah, just even what you were saying, just about like-mindedness, you know, so it's the same kind of gap when it comes to relationships. Like, I want someone that I could discuss business, world affairs, different things going on, emotional issues, but just even in general as a Ghanaian society, I won't even put that on just the men. Like, we don't really do those things, but coming from outside, you kind of grow up kind of setting those expectations that my partner is someone that I could talk to about different things. Like, there's guys here, yes, they're interested, but like, you're telling them about your day and he's like on his phone, you know, like you even talk too much for them. So that part makes it difficult, just finding someone that you can connect with and that views you. I would say like equal doesn't mean we're the same person, but we both can contribute similarly to a relationship. Like, I had some guy who's just genuinely surprised that I'm smart.
Wow.
No, but you know, and then surprised that another friend is smart because we're females. Like we're not supposed to be as smart. I'm not saying all men view women this way. Some Ghanaian men are great. Yeah.
But are Ghanaian men romantic?
No, not in my experience. Again, you can't say all of them, but in my experience, not a lot of them are romantic.
I don't know. You can get some. You can get some, and some you just have to teach. I'm going to teach you how to be romantic, and then just 1 or 2 lessons, then they're good. Also in a weird like way. They're not going to put the flowers all over, but they might, you know, randomly come with a new pair of shoes that you like.
I feel like maybe it's just me. I meet guys who are overly romantic, like
Oh, wow.
like the
As in they say I love you from the beginning, or they're actually
no, not
romantic?
those don't count. Those are not the ones who are waiting for the passport, so I would like to marry you today. I'm talking about just the outpouring of, you know, really into you, and like, you know, poetry. I also recognize, and I think this could also be global, I don't know if it's Ghana specific, that, you know, I come from a household of where 2 parents are still in love after 45 years of marriage, and I've seen what Black love looks like, and I see what a power couple looks like, and I meet so many people who are like, I don't know my mom, I don't know my dad, I don't know, you know, I've never seen a happy, successful couple anywhere. And I think when that happens, it's hard to replicate if, you know, it only exists in white movies, and I don't think that's real for Black people, so.
Okay, last question. The positives about being in Ghana, about thriving in Ghana, about working in Ghana, all of that. What would you tell the people who are watching about the positive sides of Ghana and why you're still here?
Like I said, that I get more peace being here than I am in London. I have more freedom. I mean, every day, you take every single day as it comes. The sun is shining, you walk on the roads, 5 different people are telling you good morning. In London, nobody's checking for you. It's straight, we need to go and do what we need to do. So I feel like even if you got into a situation where you didn't even have money or didn't have food, you have people around you that will make sure that you're eating today. They'll make sure that you're okay. There's more of a sense of community and love, even if it's not your real blood like family. There are definitely opportunities. Yes, it is hard, but once you get the nitty gritty, you learn how to work around it, you can definitely make more money here than you can in London. Like you said, you started with just $500. Yeah, it can be done, and it's much more easier to start a business here or to do something here than outside. I always say, if anybody wants to come to Ghana and they don't know what to do, think of the things that we take for granted, like recycling, like Uber. Uber is making so much money now in Ghana. The dispatch drivers, the small little things that we take for granted that in outside, if you brought it to Ghana, you would just be making skyrocketing money just like that. So it is more peaceful. I feel much more happier here, and there's much more freedom. Not saying London I was, you know, whatever, but it's like, oh, light. As soon as I get to Heathrow, there's a grey cloud that follows me everywhere. It's like, I don't see that cloud here.
But there really is, when you get off the plane in the States, after coming here, it's just like, there's this weight. And I remember, it was so funny, I got off the plane after the Sankofa journey, and it was just like, and just the energy and everything, it was just like I don't know, the air felt different, everything just felt so different. But I didn't mean to.
No, I was done. Like literally, I just feel within yourself, you're much more happier. And when you're happy within yourself, everything else is easier for you. That's why I could say I have more patience. I'm very much like, okay, fine, you're late. It's okay, just whatever. But if you're there, you're more uptight. You're more, this needs to be done. We need to do this. We need to do. This hasn't been done. Bills are taken out. Everything. So no, Ghana. It's bittersweet, but it's more sweet than bitter.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that. And then also, do you think that you would have been able to even start your plantain chips
exactly
in the UK?
I mean, literally, so I started, so the plantain chips even started during COVID, because I was like, oh, you know, we need more snacks. I'm going to the shop and I just want a quick snack. All I'm seeing is chin chin and what's the peanuts. I'm like, no, I want to get something else. Usually you go to London, the whole aisle, there's so many different things. So let me just think of plantain. It was so simple. Like, how would I even start? Getting my even the FDA like approval wasn't as difficult as if I was to do that in the UK. So no, definitely in Ghana. And what makes it even better for me is I'm doing the plantain chips, and like you, sending it over. So when I send it over to the UK, I'm making money in pounds. Not ripping you off, but I'm making my money in pounds from the UK. And in Ghana, I have more people, the diaspora, the expats, that appreciate my packaging, that are gonna buy it. You do get some people like, oh, I can get plantain, 2 CDs on the side. Okay, but mine, you can reseal the packet. Okay, so buy mine. So no, definitely I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was there. And there's so many more things that I can do, which is much more quicker. You just need to, it just all depends on the type of energy that you're putting into what it is. And the more energy you put in, the more you're gonna get out.
Absolutely. Rita?
Positives, good weather, like all year round, although it gets really hot at some points. But generally, you know, nice to have good weather, not have to worry about snow, because I hate snow and driving in the snow. So that's definitely one of the positives. Say somehow, even though the people can be up and down and it can be hard to connect sometimes, generally like a fun kind of spirit about the people. People just are more relaxed, and so yeah, I guess that also helps you to relax a little bit when you're here. And I agree, I mean, not that it's not easy to start a business, it's not easy to get it profitable here, but yeah, to some extent, like you can think of an idea and have it to market much quicker than if you were like abroad to get it to market. Like if you have a food product, you don't need, well, even now in the US too, but yeah, it's easier to start something and just like, because there's people you can employ and different distribution channels, it can be a little bit less cumbersome than when you're outside to like start a business.
Nataki?
Echoing the lack of winter is a huge plus. I do not like the cold, so the sunshine every day. In fact, somebody the other day said something about, oh, it's cold, and I was like, oh yeah, cold exists. Like, and so that I love being able to, as an entrepreneur, wake up, exercise, do a bunch of like self-development kinds of things, get some work done, and then 4 hours later, it's 9 o'clock in the US when everybody else is starting their day. So I feel like I have all kinds of, like, I feel like I have extra time. That's really amazing. The networking here has been really meaningful, that even though I'm a very strong, independent, vocal woman, that there are some people who have surrounded me and are very protective of me. I went for a walk the other day, and my housekeeper, well, I wasn't trying to go for a walk. My Uber driver ended the trip early, and I was like, forget it, I'll just walk. And she was like, do you need me to walk with you? Do you want me to go? And I was just like, I'm a grown woman, I can walk up the street. And she was like, are you sure you're okay? And then like an hour later, she called after she got home and was like, did you make it home okay? I was like, wow. But there are men and women who've just like been really protective. Yeah. And I think having that kind of community and knowing that you're not alone at the end of the day is really, really meaningful, and can make it where you can take the plunge and know, okay, I'm not, you know, if I meet the right people, if I make the right connections, you know, this is totally doable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, I want you guys to give advice to somebody or family that are trying to move back home to Ghana. What should they be looking out for? How should they plan for the transition? I'll go with you first.
Okay, if I can, I'll say there's a moving readiness transition plan on Repatriate to Ghana, and that helped me think of some of the things that I did not know, because there's so, I mean, even how electricity works here is so different, and you would never think, the way, I mean, there's so many things that gave me insight into, okay, I need to reorient my brain. The way banking works here is even different. Like, anyway, so that, and I think recognizing that similar to the United States, you can't walk up to a random person from your city and be like, hey, do you know people in government who can move mountains for me because I just got to this city? But somehow people mistakenly think that you can just walk up to any random Ghanaian and they're gonna well-intentioned be like, I'm gonna help you with everything you need, and that they don't even know what they're doing. So I think getting the right people who know the right things and investing in making sure you're stable will make everything else easy. So that would be my strongest recommendation. And then maybe coming here first and touring the country, so you can, and with a non-tourist lens, so you can really see what it is and its true colors, I think would add a lot of value. So you can know, oh, well, this is, you know, I'm into arts and I want to be over here, or I'm into education or tech or science, and this area will support that, as opposed to just moving here and going, now what do I do? So.
Okay. And Mz Dru?
I would definitely say do it in stages. Don't do it like Drew. Don't just jump up and come. Do it, come to Ghana in times that are not holiday periods. So just come at maybe 4 months, then 3 months, then 6 months. Then even try it for a year before you say 100% this is something that I'm coming to do. It's all about planning. Have an idea of what it is that you want to do, but research into that. If it's you want to be a hairdresser, research the different types of hairdressers that we have, because weirdly, you can actually find everything in Ghana. Everything. During COVID, I realized you can find everything, down to like weird scented candles and different things that I didn't know were here. You can find it. So if you know that this is something that you want to do research into that area first before you come. Plan. And just remember that even though you might have a strict plan, let your plan, you know, because if it might not go 100% to the T to where you want it to go, but don't be upset if it doesn't go to the T but it gets to 70, because 70 is more than bravo, you know. So don't be too rigid. Do have an idea, but just allow room for mistakes. Yes, be very flexible. Exactly. So those are my key points.
Okay, Rita?
Yeah, so I guess doing your research.
Rita.
Doing your research so you manage your expectations. So like when I ran my exchange program, I had a whole, you know, like orientation guide, or even gave it to them before they came. We have light off. Sometimes the water goes off. So if you have that, if you manage your expectations and you're aware of some of these things before you come, then you also like prepare. I didn't expect everything to go well, so when it didn't, I mean, but that's how I just see life. Like everything won't go well. Yeah. So I wasn't shook when things didn't go well. Like this is life. It'll have its ups and downs. So I didn't get too shook by that. Money, have somewhere to stay. And yeah, some method of transportation. I think like Uber could be okay for when you first come, but definitely eventually you probably like want to have your own car. So yeah, that, you know, goes to the planning. And then, yeah, some way that you can make money. I mean, the ideal, I remember when I wanted to move, my dad's like, oh, you should apply for a job, get a job with an international company. But like, how many of those positions are really there? Yeah. So I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. But I guess, yeah, with the flexibility, like if I came and I was stiff that I'm only going to do X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't have ended up where I ended up now. So yeah, just come kind of study and be flexible, be open-minded. One thing, everyone will be like, oh, Ghana, there's so much opportunity, but ask them where. I mean, they'll give you general statements, but like no one can really pinpoint. So yeah, you do have to come. I agree with come in stages. You know, if you can, especially with COVID now where you're working remotely, come live here for a while if you can before you make that move. And you don't have to move back. You don't have to move back. Or if you come, I think for me, I was always okay to come. I said it was my decision to come. Yeah. And if I want to leave, I can leave. And I wouldn't see it as a failure. I think some people, you know, I mean, there's different opinions because some people like come knowing you're going to stay so that no matter what, you make it work. But I'm not of that opinion. I'm like, it was a choice to come. It's a one-stage chapter in my life. You know, if I decide to stay, I stay. If I decide to go somewhere else, I can go back. So like no pressure, like come explore, see what's there, you know, but don't feel pressured like you need to make this mass exodus, you know, to Ghana.
Wow. I think it's been an insightful conversation. We've learned that, look, despite there things that you will go through in Ghana, there's also an opportunity. Drew has mentioned about a customer service school. If you don't have that certificate, you can't get a job, basically. And we've seen that you can make it in Ghana, because Rita came here and just set up her business with $500, but now is turning over thousands of dollars from exporting something here to America. So it can be done. You can be a millionaire, you can be a billionaire, you can make it in Ghana. Yes, it's a bold step. You have to research, like they said. You have to come maybe in stages. You have to find somebody here to help you. But when you come, set your mind and be flexible. Go with the wave, okay? Go with the wave, because it can be up and down. There will be light off. There will be no water at times, but still better than having a cloud over your head.